Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Dose, your space for thoughtful conversations about learning, teaching, and growing in English. Today's episode is about something we often celebrate but don't always question: technology in the classroom. Now, don't get me wrong, technology is powerful. It has changed the way we learn, access information, and connect with the world. But today, I want to explore a different question. Can too much technology actually become a barrier to learning? And let's think about this together. What happens when technology takes over? In many classrooms today, technology is everywhere. We have tablets, we have smart boards, applications, and also online activities. And while these tools can make lessons more engaging, sometimes they begin to take over the learning process. So instead of focusing on understanding, students just focus on clicking on the screen, scrolling, and also finishing tasks quickly. And learning becomes fast but not always deep. And here comes the illusion of learning. Technology can sometimes create the feeling of learning without real understanding. For example, students might complete an online quiz and get instant feedback. It feels productive, but do they really remember the information later? Do they truly understand it? Sometimes the answer is really no, because real learning often requires deep thinking, slowing down, making mistakes, and also reflecting on learning. And not all digital tools encourage that. So we have to rethink using tools more often in our teaching day to day. Now, let's move to the point of distraction and attention, which is another challenge. Devices are designed to keep attention, but not always in the right way. Notifications, sounds, visuals, these can easily pull students away from the task. Even when students are using educational apps, their attention can be divided. So, here we can also see that learning really needs focus, and that would hinder learning. Without focus, it's difficult to build real understanding. The last point I'm going to mention here is something about human interaction. One important part of learning, especially language learning, is communication, talking, asking questions, expressing ideas. But when technology is overused, students may spend more time looking at screens, working individually, clicking answers, and there's less time for speaking, for discussing with their peers, for interacting also with their partners in the classroom. And really, that's where something important is lost. So we have to rethink how we use technology in a way that communication wouldn't be hindered or wouldn't be used less. So we have to find a balance between how we can use technology but also keep the things that matter most and that would benefit learning the most. So it doesn't mean we have to remove technology from the classroom. Of course, not at all. Technology is a tool. It's not a problem. The key here is how to balance. So, using technology with purpose, not just because it's available. I don't have to use it all the time. Sometimes the best learning happens when students talk to each other, when they write by hand, and this is very important, writing on the board. I can see that many teachers just show the answers on the screen. They don't give students the chance to go to the board and write the answers using their hands. I can even notice some students writing letters the wrong way, like instead of shaping the letter the right way, they have learned to use it the wrong way, and this is very a really, I can say, a really serious problem. So we should also make students or help students think quietly and also solve problems together. So technology should support learning, it shouldn't replace it. Like when students write on the board, they're really actually learning. How about like think of the opposite, which is showing them the answer, just they just say the answer and then it's shown on the screen. This is absolutely not to be used in all teaching strategies. So here's the final thought. Maybe the real question is not are we using technology, but are we using it in a way that really helps students learn? Because more is not always better. Sometimes less technology means more learning. So, thank you for listening to today's episode from the English Dose. If this episode made you reflect on your classroom or your own learning habits, then it has done its job. And remember, the best learning doesn't come from tools, it comes from thinking, connecting, and growing. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.